Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
It is astounding how many people want to be spectacular in life, but also want to fit in and be normal. Like, by being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
You see this guy here staring back at you? Yeah? That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life.
It's time to wake up. Wake the up, bro. Enough with the bullshit, enough with the excuses, enough with the nonsense, enough with being in a situation where you're always complaining, where you're always pointing fingers. Point the fingers at yourself. The life that you have is the life that you chose. If you don't like the life that you have, it's your damn fault, dude. Change. Make different decisions. Hang out with different people. Instill some discipline, some habits. Win.
No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one.
You can believe you're not worthy of a thing and still attain it. You can be adamant that your efforts are going to go badly and still succeed. You can grip and grasp and fear and it ruin the enjoyment and be totally unwarranted and things still go well. You can have no self-belief and show up anyway. You can want more for yourself without knowing exactly what that looks like. You can doubt the process, question your talent, be uncertain that you're making progress, disparage your accomplishments, permanently feel like you're not working hard enough no matter how hard you work, never give yourself a break, fail to fully feel gratitude, be terrified of never reaching your goals, and still end up in a place that your 20-year-old self could not imagine.
Struggle doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It usually means you're on a real one, right? Struggle doesn't mean you're making a mistake. Struggle could mean that you have a lot to learn to get to this goal. If you give up because something's hard, it means you didn't care enough about the thing.
But I try to reframe that pain that comes from doing the things that I don't want to do the things that I do want to do, as the price tag required to become the person that I want to become. And so if we think about the traits of any person, so it's like, if I want to be patient, then I can't expect things to happen faster, right? Like if we were to go to the end of our lives and say, hey, I want these character traits. It's like, well, if you had to play a character, in a video game and make them that way, it's like, well, what would you have to put them through in order to get those traits? It's like, well, if you want patience, then you're not going to get things quickly. If you want to have endurance, it's like you have to be able to tolerate suffering, right?
Many people, but don't make dreams your fucking master. But I was able to dream outside those four walls of that small town. A lot of people sit back and they dream about being a sports figure, or dream about being a SEAL, or dream about being an astronaut, and all it is a dream. They don't put the work behind the dream. That dream has become their master. When you become the master of your dream is when you say, I want to go be a Navy SEAL, and you say, okay, I'm gonna lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months.
It's not all I'm never gonna get to that where everything's okay, where everything looks a certain way. And in the meantime, I'm burning the best time I do have available. I'm burning that candle up. I'm burning this candle down, and I'm saying as soon as it gets bright enough or warm enough in here, I'm gonna show up. But the candle's getting smaller.
This dude said there's a moment when every boy realizes no one's coming to save him. And that's when he becomes a man. And some boys never get there and stay children forever. That guy was you that said that. And it's important when we step out of this. Like, this stuff matters because no one's effing coming to save you. No one's going to make you better at your business. No one is going to get you to be a better persuader of people or framer of people other than you.
Most people need to shut the fuck up and focus on that version of themselves they want to become and actually be willing to become it. And that's what's ultimately going to create the fulfillment that you're looking for. It's not going to be your cold plunge. It's not going to be your morning routine. It's going to be the work that you fucking do to become that version of yourself that is the exact version that you know you're supposed to become, and then being proud of it. That's what's going to create the fulfillment that you're searching for. And all of this other shit is just Band-Aid shit to try and fix something that you know is a real problem in yourself.
It was the self-discipline that I had to survive, to not survive, I was weak, to thrive. No one said, hey man, you're 297 pounds, man. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help, hey man, you're not smart. I'm gonna help you out. I had to work at all this shit. I had to overcome, and it self-disciplines everything. And if you don't have it, I don't look at you right, because I know you're capable of more.
I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. You have something special. You've got greatness in you, but you've got to be hungry. What do you mean by that? People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. They're willing to study. They're willing to challenge themselves. They're willing to go outside of their comfort zone. Why is that important? Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. You've got to die to who you are now to give birth to who you were chosen out of 400 million sperm to become.
And so whoever I blame for the life I have is the person who I give all the power over my existence, over my circumstances. And so it hurts, but if you turn the finger inwards and you start saying, I don't like my life. The person that I need to punish or get back at is the real person who got me here, which is me. And the only person who's in control of that is you.
And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their fucking notifications because they can't stick with shit. They can't say no.
Losers wing it through life. Losers think that they still have more time to get there. Losers measure themselves by the losers that they surround themselves with. And they go, well, I still have time. They're not doing anything extravagant in life, my friend. So I'm probably on track. No, you're not. You're all behind track. That's the problem. You're all behind schedule. You're all late to the party.
How do I be better than what I was? Because if I do that, fuck. For me, I just beat me.
Yeah.
This ain't about nobody else. I don't give a about nobody else. I just beat me. If I can keep beating myself, if I can keep doing that, then that means that I'm in a battle with the only person that it makes sense. I'm in a battle with the only person that I really want to fucking beat, and that's me.
You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. Most things in the medium term, in order to be able to facilitate progress toward one thing.
Stop waiting. Time won't invite you. You have to show up anyway. We've been taught to wait for the right time, to wait until we're more qualified, until we have more money, more confidence, more clarity, until the fear goes away, until we're ready, until someone gives us permission, until the timing makes sense. But here's the reality. The right time doesn't show up. You do. The timing won't feel perfect because you're not supposed to feel certain before you grow.
Yes.
And I think this is one of the things sometimes is that we all have skills that are valuable somewhere. And they may not be the skills that you want to do for the rest of your life.
No, but the season of life.
But the season of life. And I think there's something to be said for that because we all want to be paid for what we love doing. But even my life today, there's a lot of things I have to do.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things I love to do. And that's life.
And I open that up without complacency. Like, start now. That doesn't mean time's on my side. Yeah, dude. Inshallah. When it happens, it'll happen. No, I'm like, wake up. Clock's ticking. It's on your side. Now just move with it.
And I think a lot of times what we do is we put in, I can just say this for myself, we don't go all in because we're kind of afraid it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And secretly, if you kind of half-ass it a little and you don't go all in, you can kind of blame that. But it was
an excuse. I didn't really try. It's
Yeah.
okay that it didn't work, you know.
But
I didn't go all out.
But what I love about what you're saying, this core principle around healthy arrogance, is cultivating belief in self.
Don't do something you don't want to do. Why are you wasting your time? There's so little time on this earth. Life goes fast. What is it, 4,000 weeks? That's your lifespan. And yes, we hear that, but we don't remember it. But I guess I'm keenly aware of how little time I have, so I'm just not going to waste it.
Do you believe a better version of yourself exists? And take responsibility to take that into action. And the reason that question to ask yourself is, do you believe a better version of yourself exists? Is because if you say yes, you are admitting that you have faith. You have faith that a better version of yourself exists. And the only way to move forward in life is by starting and just taking action. There's no book or a 12-step program or perfect way that it's going to organize things. And this sounds super trite to say, I know everyone knows that, but people still don't do it. Awareness doesn't mean anything. Action is all that matters.
This is not for you in the first 5 years of doing whatever you're doing. Like, end yourself. That's the job. The job is nose goes against grindstone, sleep is out of the window, the candle gets burned on the three ends. That's what you're supposed to do.
You have to fight the war against yourself. And it is not easy to look in the mirror and to change your own life. It's hard as hell. You have to take responsibility. You have to learn new things. You have to feel uncomfortable. Good, because discomfort is how we grow. That's how we become strong.
And he said you can't necessarily escape the suffering, so you might as well choose something in life to do that is worth suffering for. Because not doing anything at all out of fear or out of uncertainty will also make you suffer. Because you know that there's something inside of you that wants to do said thing.
List all the things that you aren't willing to give up for the dreams that you have. And that is what the person who will beat you is willing to give up.
And I reflect on that always in my life and go, there was this time I was in Boston and I was running on a tread machine, and I always do 10 kilometers on this tread machine. I hit the button, 21 kilometers. And I was perplexed, absolutely perplexed. Every time I run 10 kilometers, I feel knackered. I ran 22 when I couldn't see the thing, and it was just a limiting belief, a wall I'd built, and I told myself that that was my limit. And we have drawn circles around ourselves, and those circles are determining how far we push, how far we aim, the things we decide to do, but they are just figments of our imagination.
No single workout or meal is ever impressive on its own. The reason so few people understand success is consistency never looks impressive in the moment, only at the end. You don't get to see the process. You don't get to see what trying looks like, right? Trying is opaque. Outcomes are obvious. You can try way harder than you think you can. And most people aren't trying at all.
Thinking it was finally that point where I just believed in myself, where I knew, like, I know what to do. I know what I'm capable of, and like, I'm going to come in and win if I do it. So I never even thought about it, but
that is a champion mentality, right?
And that is the work that no one will do. And that is why entrepreneurship is much more a battle of wills than it is a battle of intellect. You have to be willing to delay gratification for an extended period of time and eat glass, and that eating of glass is seeing how many failures you have until you get it right.
Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
It's a pain to start at the bottom, but you start at the bottom where you're weak. And if you want to rectify what's weak, you have to accept the fact that you're at the bottom and that the first steps are going to be painful.
What does it mean to become unshakable? That you want to develop yourself in such a way that you can be the rock for others where people go to hold on to. Not the other way around. You don't want people playing around with you and you yourself don't know, where are they pushing me? Where am I moving? This is you're shakeable. This is you're movable.
It doesn't matter if a nuclear bomb went off, but all you see is a straight line, completely undisturbed by the things that are going around them. Because you can beat 99% of people without being smarter or luckier. but by being willing to endure pain and uncertainty for longer. It's hard for you, it's hard for everyone else. And most people avoid hard things, which is why you can beat most people by just trying and continuing to try. And the main thing is that I think most people don't even know what trying feels like.
And it evolved into just like a no quit mentality. It's accepting these fears I have, this doubt I have, this everything that goes through my mind, but regardless of that, not quitting and not giving up on myself. No matter how hard is the time of what I'm going through and whatever shit I feel, I'm gonna still put in the same work regardless of how I feel. And that's a champion mentality, because the champion's not controlled by their outside circumstances. They control their own mind inside and how they act, and then the world goes on around them.
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
There's this line that I heard David Goggins say on Rogan. You want to be able to say that in the mirror to yourself and not laugh at yourself.
Start where you are. Period, full stop. Start where you are. Atlanta, right now today, is the busiest on-location production hub in the United States.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Absolutely true, yes. It was not like that when I started off, when I moved to Atlanta some 30 years ago now. It was not. Start where you are.
Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline, right? You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing. Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks, and this is my favorite rule from James Clear, which is a habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss 2 days in a row. So ideally, go for a month, build it up. But after that, if you ever miss one day, go, okay, mistakes are going to happen. Tomorrow I double down.
The more wishes you have, the more difficult it becomes. The more ambitious you are, the more you will have to face.
You do not become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt. And ultimately, hoping that you're going to be able to... believing that you can think your way out of a thinking problem is like believing you can sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction, right? You have to give yourself something else that's going to step change where you're at.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. A hierarchy of improvement, you need to be aiming for something. So the question is, who should you defeat in the final analysis? And the answer is, you should defeat your former self. You should be constantly trying to do that. If you're improving yourself, then what you are doing is competing with your lesser self. Personal responsibility is like, well, personal responsibility is to compete with yourself, is to be slightly better than yourself the next day.
Yes.
And
just do. You're living. How do you want to live? How do you want to die? How do you want to be remembered? That's it. That's it. Period.
You might have just completely missed. You might just end up in the wrong profession, the wrong place, the wrong people for 30 years of your life grinding away. And yes, the best time to figure that out was before, but the second best time is now. So just change it.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road.
You gonna take the professor's side on
Don't
this?
give me a line of shit, no.
Look, I didn't want the job.
It's not about the job. I don't care if you work for the government. But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing. What are you passionate about? What do you want? I mean, there are guys who work their entire life laying bricks so their kids have a chance at the opportunities you have here.
I didn't ask for this.
No, you were born with it, so don't cop out behind. I didn't ask for this.
If you want revenge for the bad things that have happened in your life, start with the version of you that hasn't lived up to your potential.
So I think a lot of us have the battle of the other self that we're, the lesser version of ourself that we're trying to kill every single day. And so a lot of times we have this desire to point the blame finger externally, but wherever you point the finger of blame, power follows. And so whoever I blame for the life I have is the person who I give all the power over my existence, over my circumstances. And so it hurts, but if you turn the finger inwards and you start saying, I don't like my life. The person that I need to punish or get back at is the real person who got me here, which is me.
And every time you fail, you learn from it, you know. So that failure was necessary. That failure was positive.
That failure taught you another piece of the puzzle that you're going to need when you finally succeed. You're only.
But if you're somebody that goes to work every day and says like, I don't want to be at this desk, I don't want to be in this cubicle, I don't want to be in this office, there's something out there that is more for me than this, then you already have the bug. Then it just becomes, do you die with the bug or do you do something about it before you die?
Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people did the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading this essay isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. And I love this.
One of the strongest reframes for suffering is that it gives you the opportunity to create evidence of the person who you want to be. And so it's like, I cannot say that I'm the type of man who can withstand hard things without having gone through hard things. And so reframing suffering as opportunity to create more proof, I think, is really, really strong.
However, if you lose your reputation with yourself, if you no longer trust you, I don't keep my own word. I know that I'm not a trustworthy person. I keep making promises to myself and to other people, and I keep on breaking them. I keep doing something that hurts other people, or the same person. They don't trust me anymore, and I don't trust me anymore.
And you're 100% right. It all comes back to being a very personal act.
If you lose your reputation with yourself, if you no longer trust you, I don't keep my own word. I know that I'm not a trustworthy person. I keep making promises to myself and to other people, and I keep on breaking them. I keep doing something that hurts other people, or the same person. They don't trust me anymore, and I don't trust me anymore.
And you're 100% right. It all comes back to being a very personal act. And what some people would say, that person's acting selfishly. No, they're actually being incredibly unselfish, I think, because they're pinning themselves in a living hell and having to look in the mirror and going, I don't trust you. I don't respect you.
Whatever it might be, like that should freak you out. And that was my answer to him, was like, hey, look, you don't get over it, right? You manage it.
Yeah.
You manage it, you get through it, you do your best to de-risk as much as you possibly can. But none of this stuff in business is just add water, right? It is all risk.
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
There's this line that I heard David Goggins say on Rogan, and I can't remember who he was saying it to or what he said in response to, but he just said, I'm David Goggins. I remember him saying it, and I thought to myself, like, you want to be able to say that in the mirror to yourself and not laugh at yourself. Mm-hmm. And the only way that I can do that is know that when no one's watching, I work harder than when they're watching.
Nothing works the first time, okay? Please understand that. Nothing works the first time. What is the average number of times that a person tries with a new goal before they give up? Can you guess? Well, the average is less than 1, because most people give up before they try even once.
But what would cause even more suffering and more pain is just sitting back on my hands and not doing anything. Because now, nothing will happen for sure. And now I also have to sit with the weight on my shoulders of knowing that I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to be doing.
You didn't miss your shot. You just needed to stop aiming at someone else's timeline. Think about that. You didn't miss your shot. You just needed to stop aiming at someone else's timeline. You didn't miss your chance. You just needed to stop focusing on someone else's deadline. You didn't miss your opportunity. You just needed to stop focusing on other people's doors. One of my favorite quotes is from Imam al-Shafi. He said, "My heart is at ease, knowing what was meant for me will never miss me, and that which misses me was never meant for me."
I think that when, like we said earlier, I think that, it's like you're an artist, right? And you have a canvas. You want that canvas to be good quality canvas and that you can paint on, you make that beautiful picture. So if the canvas or the patient is not quality, they don't have good tissue or good metabolism and good health, no matter how great of a painting you draw, no matter how great of a surgery you do, you're gonna have a bad outcome.
It's the effort, it's the journey. It's like suffering through times that I don't want to be at the gym or why I want to quit on my diet, and I push myself, and every single moment, every day leading up to the show, and I win all those moments. That's winning. That's like winning in life continuously every day. And through that journey, being able to build my relationships, not sacrifice them for winning, be able to make myself a better person, not a more stressed out, anxious person, all that stuff coming together, I've already won before I have a trophy in my hand. When I stand on stage, I haven't quit on a workout, I haven't quit on a cardio session.
Even that inner critic is not us, it's just a rehearsed, habituated, conditioned voice that you've just practiced. So you've practiced that voice your whole life that says, you're a loser, you're not great, you're not enough, you're not good, whatever it is. And if you start practicing another voice, that will change.
Yeah.
And that for me was always massively helpful in recognizing that you could change pretty much anything and everything if you wanted to and if you chose to, because all you were living out was a habit.
The question is, do we believe we can become it? Without that belief, every journey will run into a debate. That debate is when pain starts to fill the body. You weigh the temporary pain versus a lifetime of pride. What are you gonna do? How bad do you want it? There's two options. To continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that dream is given birth, and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to ever find that dream again.
No, they don't. Like, a doctor told me that. I go, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about because most people don't push themselves past that pain, that stretch pain.
Right. People want to put a title on you, man. It's easier for them. Oh, you're just natural.
Exactly.
You're natural.
Exactly.
No, you don't work hard enough, motherfucker.
The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it. And you know something? The statistics show that 95% of the goals that you set for yourself, you will achieve if you refuse to quit.
His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it.
I'd say one of the strongest mental frames that has got me through my hardest times is thinking this will be the story that I will one day tell. And that means the harder it is, the bigger the dragon, the more epic the story, and by consequence, the more epic the hero. And if you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them.
As a man, you have to outline, what are my duties? And your duty is to attack your goals, to chase your dreams, to set dates and deadlines that you want to achieve these. And these dates and deadlines must become non-negotiable for you.
The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it. And you know something? The statistics show that 95% of the goals that you set for yourself, you will achieve if you refuse to quit. So the starting point is just to simply say, I am unstoppable. Say it. Say, I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. Now say it like you mean it. Get your thumbs out of your mouths and say it like you mean it. Say, I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. Once more, I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. Yes. Now from now on, whenever you see a barrier or wall, or you think of anything you want to do or be, you say, wait a minute here. I'm unstoppable. Nothing stops me.
What are you doing today, tomorrow, the next day? That's why I don't listen to theorists. I don't listen to all that bullshit. I listen to a who's like this, man. What's wrong, man? I'm tired, dude. Why are you tired? Because tomorrow, I gotta do the shit again, man. Whatever the shit is that made me nauseous and sick to my stomach, it made me hurt. There's no ending. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen. It's a beautiful world. because that's where you find yourself. You don't find yourself in over here. You find yourself on the other end.
Just simply say, I am unstoppable. Say it. Say, I am unstoppable.
I am unstoppable.
Now say it like you mean it. Get your thumbs out of your mouths and say it like you mean it. Say, I am unstoppable.
I am unstoppable.
Once more, I am unstoppable.
I am unstoppable.
Losers wing it through life. Losers think that they still have more time to get there. Losers measure themselves by the losers that they surround themselves with. And they go, well, I still have time. They're not doing anything extravagant in life, my friend. So I'm probably on track. No, you're not. You're all behind track. That's the problem. You're all behind schedule. You're all late to the party.
It's not over until I win. Got that right. It's not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm gonna come back and take the hinges off. That's how you gotta do that. You've got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination.